What's up? What's happening? Good morning. I hope you're wonderful. On August 11th, 2025, the developers of Stranded Deep have released another developer blog, and this one has a lot more to it. The theme of the blog entry is Stranded in style, Stranded Deep's new art style, and there's some models that we can look at. We can answer a few questions that people have had, myself included. One of the questions that I've had is, where is Stranded Deep going to take place? Is it going to be ocean survival, or are we going to a new planet or a desert? You know, it's likely that they've realized that if they're going to do Stranded Deep 2 with the same name, they're probably going to want to stay in the ocean. They could manipulate it though. Anyway, let me read this thing to you. Stranded Deep 2 developer updates posted August 11th, 2025 dev blog. Hi everyone, I'm back to share more about our latest efforts to craft the immersive world of Stranded Deep 2. To kick this blog off, I want to talk about how we've been developing the art style for the new game. We've spent a lot of time thinking about the core themes of Stranded Deep. One of our goals for Stranded Deep 2 is to strengthen the themes from the first game and create a strong visual identity moving forward. A huge part of the visual identity will be defined by our art style. We've built a killer team to create this, led by art director Kasaba, forgive me if I say this wrong, Kasaba, and senior artists Gabor, Peter, and Zolt? I butchered that. They bring a ton of industry experience and passion to the project, which we're already seeing manifest in a high quality and amount of work that they're pumping out. When they joined the team and we first started to think about what Stranded Deep 2 could look like, I encouraged them to explore different art styles but try to lean towards realism, which feels right for Stranded Deep, and I agree with that. I think that's legit. A style I've always liked and wanted to explore was more combining simpler art styles with realistic lighting and post-effects. It creates a unique effect where your mind almost fills in the details, and even when you stop to look harder and break it down, you find it's still consistent and pleasing. So our team took that direction and spent some time experimenting and mocking up different variations and extremes so we could find the right balance. We're aiming to hit somewhere around, I love that they did this, by the way, and on the left, you've got Raft, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded, and on the right, you've got photorealistic like Red Dead Redemption or TLOU? I don't know what that is. They're leaning a little more photorealistic, which I think is what Stranded Deep 1 is. I mean, it's a bit cartoony, like the characters themselves. I think they're right. They're absolutely right by doing that. So we've dubbed this stylized realism, which ultimately combines greater geometry, but not too simple, and stylized materials with realistic lighting and post effects. Next, we wanted to start exploring how to apply this style to the main character, but before we could do that, we spent some time understanding who the main characters are. The protagonist. In Stranded Deep 1, the main character was a businessman thrown into a crazy situation of being stranded on an island, and we took heavy inspiration from popular media like Castaway or Lost, the TV series. And here's one of our original mood boards from Stranded Deep 1. This is Stranded Deep, 5 o'clock shadow, accountant kind of vibe, ripped up clothes, dress shoes. I mean, the guy, dude, Stranded Deep 1, the guy was on a private plane, you know what I mean? Here's where some answers start to come. To take this theme into Stranded Deep 2, we've refined it down into you being an ordinary person in an extraordinary situation. This will be a running theme for Stranded Deep moving forward. We didn't have a nickname for the character in Stranded Deep 1. The pilot was called Collins, but we are affectionately nicknaming Stranded Deep 2's protagonist, Dave from Accounting. We're also workshopping nicknames for the female character, so let us know your suggestions. It's Barbara. It's gotta be Barbara. Of course it's gotta be Barbara. Let me show you why.
I feel like things are gonna get weird because we work together, and now we're in this situation.
Yeah. Now I can finally vent about how much I hate Barbara. Man, she's just the office gossip.
Look, I don't hate many people. Hate Barbara.
Oh, Barbara. 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 All right, we should really get to work. This is a survival game situation.
Yeah, okay.
What is this? Cloth? I'm picking it up.
I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot. Or we could name her Maddie after Maddie Lion. Now that we know who our character is, we could start exploring their visual design. While we work on the outfit design, the character artist, Gabor, has already started experimenting with how to apply stylized realism to the new character model. He started by creating a model with realistic features and proportions. Here they are. Yeah, and here they are. They're very basic. Yeah, very, very basic. This one here, they say the Marvel superhero vibes are too strong with this one, and I agree. I'm going to jump ahead from all this bullshit. So basically, here's what they might look like. They probably won't, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is subject to change for sure, but they're doing things. This is where they are in production. So our style will flow onto all areas of the game, including animals and props, which are starting to take shape. All right, let's jump ahead to these models. So there's a couple of things that are kind of telling about this. Basically, we're in the ocean. Yeah, we're definitely going to be in the ocean. So down here, you can see coconuts down here, for sure, coconuts. Right here looks like a potential workbench. I'm not sure if it's going to be interactable or not, but you see this little guy here. This looks like a torch, and this also looks like a torch. Basically, a stick with some cloth on it. Different variations. Looks like 4 different variations of it. This kind of looks like a chandelier of some kind. A fishing pole, random ice chest or storage box, cloth. Oars, ships, there's a jeep. We're definitely going to be ocean survival again. They might add some other stuff too, but it's looking good. So ball peen hammer, and looks like a crude hammer, crude pickaxe, a laundry basket. That's important. Gotta have that. And then of course also a basket. I'm not sure what this is. I'm also not sure what these things are. Yeah, I'm not sure about this either. These are some of the props that are going to be in the game. So, like I said, it's definitely telling that it's going to be in the ocean. So let's continue. Don't you just love his disgruntled little face? That's funny. Here's the sand textures and another example of what sand texture can look like. And I think they should do both. Hanticore did that mod where the better textures mod, where it kind of combines the two, and sometimes the sand is darker, sometimes it's lighter. Gabar is hard at work with our new hero animal, and I can't wait to share that big fella with you. Hero animal, what could that be? What do you think? What would be a hero animal? Like dolphin? No, dolphin? There should be dolphins though. Yeah, there should be dolphins. There should be whales. There should be whales. They should be killable. Yeah, they should be killable. So textures, our gray boxes and environment will eventually need textures. And this is where our texture artist Zolt, okay, Zolt. It's a cool name. That's totally a cool name. Our texture artist Zolt comes to the rescue. Zolt has created a load of new textures for the environment and is importing these into the game engine to see how they look with our current lighting setup. Second to the water, sand is the next most obvious feature in Stranded Deep, so it's nice to see these textures already looking great. There's sand, there's fish, there's water, there's boats. So that's a big question answered. Yeah, that's the biggest question answered. So we know who the protagonist is. I hope that they stick with the antagonist just being the environment itself. I think part of the biggest reason that Stranded Deep was so successful and so immersive is the fact that there's no toolbar, there's no health bar, there's no food or hunger bar that is indicated on the screen. You actually have to press a button and look at your watch every time to see how your health is. I think that played a big role because it's such a good looking game. You're not distracted by a bunch of bullshit on the screen, and you can see everything, you can enjoy everything and immerse yourself in it, and even if the graphics weren't perfect, and which they definitely weren't, far from it as a matter of fact, they're good enough to captivate you. So for me anyway, the developers want suggestions on who the female protagonist should be nicknamed. I say Barbara, but what do you say? Yeah, there's really not much else. I hope they don't start trying to bring in zombies and cannibals into the game. Yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing. This communication is great. Hopefully Claire is still around and running the forums and stuff, because she's really good. All in all, I'm really happy with the hard work of the art team and seeing the awesome assets they are creating so far. Hopefully you can already see the love that is going into the game. This is just the tip of the iceberg, not a hint. No, seriously. Right, okay. Next time, I want to share more details about the new building system I mentioned in the last blog, in which I will dive deeper into how it's improving and evolving from Stranded Deep 1. Until then, stay alive. Sam Edwards, creative director and CTO. You want to see what Sam looks like? This is what Sam looks like. Kind of looks like Dave from accounting, doesn't he? All right, so that's it, guys. What do you think? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? You know, unfortunately, in my opinion, there's really not a lot to work with here. We did answer some questions, and if you want to check this out, you can come to the website strandeddeep2.com. It'll be right on the front page. I mean, there's literally nothing else on this website right now. So, like, if you go to strandeddeep2.com, you'll find the old one from June 20, and then this one from August 11th today. It's funny, I joined their mailing list, but I didn't find out about this through an email. I saw it on Facebook. That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, that's all I can give you. Cheers. Have a good day. Happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video.